The border between Mexico and the United States is in a critical situation. The recent re-election of Donald Trump has intensified the migration crisis. His policies, focused on border security and the reduction of immigration, have generated a climate of uncertainty and fear. Thousands of migrants, coming from Central America, South America, and the Caribbean, are stranded at Mexico's northern border. Many of them are fleeing violence, poverty, and the lack of opportunities in their countries of origin. The migrant caravans, which characterized recent years, have diminished. However, the migratory flow has not stopped. The routes have become more dangerous, exposing migrants to abuse and violations of their human rights. The figures are alarming. In November of 2024, more than 46,700 detentions were registered at the southern border of the United States. The Mexican government, for its part, has implemented measures to control the migratory flow. However, the lack of resources and the magnitude of the crisis make an effective response difficult. The situation is complex and requires a comprehensive solution. It is urgent to address the structural causes of migration and guarantee respect for the human rights of all people, regardless of their migratory status. Donald Trump's migration policies have generated tensions in the bilateral relationship between Mexico and the United States. The construction of the border wall, the separation of migrant families, and the reduction of asylum requests are some of the points of conflict. The Mexican government, led by Claudia Sheinbaum, has condemned the unilateral measures of the United States. Sheinbaum has defended Mexico's sovereignty and has reiterated her commitment to the defense of the human rights of migrants. Despite the differences, both countries have maintained a constant dialogue to address the migration issue. However, the lack of concrete agreements and the confrontational rhetoric have made a joint solution difficult. The bilateral relationship is at a delicate moment. Cooperation between Mexico and the United States is fundamental to address the migration crisis. An approach based on mutual respect, shared responsibility, and the search for long-term solutions is required. Behind the figures and the migration policies, there are life stories. Thousands of migrants face precarious situations in their transit through Mexico. Many of them have been victims of extortion, kidnapping, and violence by criminal groups. "We left Honduras looking for a better future for our children," recounts Maria, a young mother traveling with her 2 small children. "We have endured hunger, cold, and fear, but we haven't lost hope of reaching the United States." Faced with the humanitarian crisis, civil organizations and volunteers have mobilized to provide assistance to migrants. Shelters, soup kitchens, and medical centers offer refuge, food, and medical care to those who need it most. However, resources are limited, and the demand is ever increasing. It is essential to strengthen the humanitarian response and guarantee that migrants have access to basic services. Solidarity and empathy are crucial for building a more just and inclusive society. Civil organizations play a fundamental role in the defense of the human rights of migrants. Through the documentation of abuses, legal representation, and political advocacy, these organizations seek to guarantee that the rights of migrants are respected. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and the Jesuit Migrant Service are some of the organizations that work at the border. These organizations denounce human rights violations, provide legal accompaniment to migrants, and demand that governments comply with their international obligations. It is unacceptable that in the 21st century, the human rights of migrants continue to be violated, declares a representative of Amnesty International. Governments must guarantee the right to seek asylum, protect migrants from violence and discrimination, and provide them with access to justice. The work of civil organizations is fundamental to making the humanitarian crisis at the border visible, demanding accountability from the authorities, and promoting more just and humane migration policies. Section 5. Beyond the crisis. Social and cultural events that unite Mexico. Despite the migration crisis and political tensions, Mexico continues to be a vibrant country, full of life. Social and cultural events demonstrate the resilience of the Mexican people and their capacity to unite in difficult times. On December 7th, National Service Day was celebrated. a day dedicated to solidarity and community work. Thousands of Mexicans participated in volunteer activities throughout the country, from cleaning parks to donating food and clothing. National Service Day is an opportunity to demonstrate that united we are stronger, affirmed a volunteer. It's important to help those who need it most and build a more just and supportive Mexico. Cultural events also play an important role in the social life of the country. Concerts, festivals, and art exhibitions offer spaces for gathering, entertainment, and reflection. Section 6. National Service Day, a beacon of hope and solidarity. National Service Day, celebrated on December 7th, is an example of the spirit of solidarity of the Mexican people. Thousands of people of all ages joined together to participate in volunteer activities throughout the country. From cleaning beaches and parks to donating blood and visiting nursing homes, Mexicans demonstrated their commitment to building a more just and equitable country. National Service Day is a citizen initiative that seeks to foster citizen participation and promote values such as solidarity, empathy, and teamwork. In a context marked by the migration crisis and political tensions, this day represents a beacon of hope and a reminder that unity and solidarity are fundamental to overcoming challenges. Section 7. Music for the Soul Mo.'s concert and the vibrant Mexican cultural scene. Music also plays an important role in the social and cultural life of Mexico. The recent concert by the American band Mo in Puerto Morelos, Quintana Roo, is an example of the diversity and vitality of the Mexican music scene. The concert, which is part of the band's Circle of Giants tour, brought together thousands of music fans in a festive atmosphere full of energy. Mo, known for its eclectic musical style that fuses elements of rock, funk, and jazz, offered a memorable show that thrilled the attendees. Mo's concert is just one example of the wide cultural offerings that Mexico offers. From film and theater festivals to art and dance exhibitions, the country has a vibrant and diverse cultural scene that enriches the lives of its inhabitants and attracts visitors from all over the world. Section 8. An Uncertain Future: Challenges and Perspectives of Migration in the Current Political Context. The migration crisis on the border between Mexico and the United States is a complex challenge that requires long-term solutions. The re-election of Donald Trump and his restrictive migration policies pose an uncertain future for thousands of migrants seeking a better life. The Mexican government faces the challenge of addressing the humanitarian needs of migrants, while at the same time seeking a negotiated solution with the United States. International cooperation and dialogue are essential to address the structural causes of migration, such as poverty, violence, and the lack of opportunities in the countries of origin. A comprehensive approach is needed that guarantees respect for the human rights of all people, regardless of their migration status. Solidarity, empathy, and the search for joint solutions are essential for building a more just and humane future for all. Section 9. Final Reflections. Towards a humane and dignified solution for the migration crisis. The migration crisis on the border between Mexico and the United States challenges us as a society. The images of separated families, detained migrant children, and desperate people seeking a better future call us to action. It is essential that governments assume their responsibility in protecting the human rights of migrants. A humane and effective approach is needed that addresses the structural causes of migration and guarantees the safety and well-being of those who are forced to leave their homes. Civil society also has a fundamental role to play, supporting organizations that work with migrants, denouncing human rights violations, and promoting a culture of peace and solidarity are concrete actions that we can take. The migration crisis is a complex challenge, but not an insurmountable one. With political will, social commitment, and a humanitarian approach, we can build a more just and dignified future for all.